We've been knowing this. It's just we don't want to believe that it was coming to this. Even right now, as they get closer and closer to basically an all digital play anywhere, play on anything type format that Microsoft is going for, basically we're gonna have to come to terms with this. Okay, some guys are in denial, and we're gonna have to come to terms.
Yeah, you say we, but honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't care if they go that route. Like, to me, it doesn't bother me at all. As long as they keep providing games and stuff, I don't care. Software is what matters to me anyway. I could give a shit where I play it at. It could be on the next NVIDIA Shield, for crying out loud, and have an Xbox app on it. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll play it there if it's gonna run well, you know.
Well, okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter, but it does kind of matter because the bulk of us are traditional. I mean, we're old school gamers. We started on the NES and some, Atari and some before that. So we're comfortable with the traditional style. I enjoy console launches. I enjoy going outside to stores, waiting in line, and I've been doing it since a little kid. And now the direction that Microsoft is going, I just don't know. I just don't know. I really wish they would just say, look, let's stop. Let's pause this current generation right here. Let's focus on next generation. We're just going to try to compete and give the gamers basically what they've been asking for and just do what we normally do.
That's not the Microsoft mindset anymore. Now it's just about the dollar sign, and they're going after, let's put our shit on everything eventually. Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not saying they're going to stop making a console. They're going to have a console. Shit, one day they're going to have a discless console. It's coming. Yeah. They've talked about it back in 2013. They want that.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Fonz. What use is it having their console? I mean, we're not married to their hardware. It's the only reason we buy the hardware is to play the software.
It's easy. They could have the best place to play their games. They could have the most, powerful system to play their, games that they're putting.
But haven't we learned the last 2 months power doesn't matter?
But listen. Here's the thing. I understand what you're saying, Kratos, but that's because you're not an Xbox gamer. You're not. Yeah, you could clearly see that Xbox gamers are going to find a reason. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I hope nobody thinks I'm saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying they want to play on Xbox. There's nothing you're going to say to change their mind. They're going to find a reason to stay on it, whether it's the controller, the user interface, their friends, the features, the power or lack of power, whatever. It doesn't matter. If they want to play on Xbox, they're going to play on Xbox. And that's just it. That's their platform. Whether it's the brand, brand name, brand recognition. Yeah. They never own the PlayStation console. They buy American, whatever the reason is, they're going to find a way. And I'm not saying that's wrong because, consumers, your money, your wallet, play on whatever the hell you want to play. Yeah. But I think Microsoft at this point is done being a traditional console. I mean, I think yesterday, Nintendo Switch surpassed Xbox One sales in Spain. And the console hasn't even been out a year yet. And I know some people be like, oh, wow, Spain, big deal. Okay, first is Spain. Next is Germany. Then France. Then Italy. And then another country. Then another country. By the time you know it, Xbox is in third place by the time this gen is over. I think Microsoft is tired of being the traditional console manufacturer and trying to compete with two platforms. One, the PlayStation PlayStation, Nintendo, Sony and Nintendo already have an advantage because they pretty much have a region all to themselves, which is Asia. So right off the bat, Microsoft's at a disadvantage. So that's already not a fair playing ground. I know a lot of ex-dudes be like, oh, that don't matter. It matters. Because you got European gamers and you got American gamers that like those games. And Microsoft can't get them because they're locked out of that region. So right off the bat, they're already at a disadvantage. Then you look at Europe, it's only certain European countries that's all about Xbox. Yeah. Namely UK. The other places, the console is completely irrelevant. So right there, they already have a crutch. I think Microsoft is tired of competing traditionally when in reality, they're not on the same playing field as Sony and Nintendo. They don't have the same access to regions they do. Yeah.
Well, and I to add on to what you're saying, the European region, the Asian region, but even here in the United States.
But guys, that's why it's brilliant to put their shit on other devices.
Exactly. And people don't see it. Think about it. While Nintendo and Sony are fighting this traditional console battle, Phil Spencer's just looking like, I don't give a fuck what y'all do. My shit's on both your platforms.
Look, we all
now, he could get Halo finally in the Asian market. Why? Because that's where Nintendo and Sony are.
You know,
he could find products there.
They're working on their own streaming service, bro.
Well, he said it. Yeah, he pretty much said it that they were he's working on they're working on streaming, but they won't be able to have anything to say for a while. So
yeah, it'll be a while, but when they finally do launch that, it'll be on all kinds of platforms. It's so obvious to me. People, I mean, he's calling it the Netflix of gaming. That's what he wants, and you know what? I'm all for it, but we have to have the infrastructure for it, man. I don't.
And you don't see Netflix like limited to certain devices. Netflix is on everything.
But here's the thing:
everything
limited, like PlayStation Now, even if it was 720p, let's say, and he had an Xbox app on all kinds of other devices, even cheaper devices, people still utilize it. He'll get money from people on other devices. It's a win-win for Microsoft.
Yeah, on tablets, on phones, on Mac. He's gonna put this shit on Mac.
Yeah,
I guarantee that's probably gonna be the next step. And my question, Windows gaming on Mac.
How much of the base, Rock? I mean, in funds, how much of the base, right? Are they willing to risk a lot of the base being upset by this and just saying, you know what, the hell with it? I might as well go to PlayStation. I mean, there are going to be a lot of those guys that's going to say.
But he already did that. When he put his games on Windows, everybody was pissed off, and then eventually, Win 10 family. They're going to accept it. They're going to accept it. What they're going to do, Kratos? They're going to jump on PlayStation now? They're going to become ponies?
And this is
they're not.
But that's what I was trying to ask them.
It's really irrelevant.
When I asked them last night, those guys, I said, what's the big deal? Because look, at the end of the day, they're making money based on software. So they don't care. Like, as long as Microsoft is getting that revenue coming in, wherever they have their app, they don't give a shit. But here's the thing. It'll go back into Microsoft, go back into Xbox. Hopefully they'll keep producing games and putting games out there. And that's all I personally give a shit about. I could care about that little black box. I tell people that all the time. Like the PS4, the fucking Xbox One X, great consoles, yes, but I could care less. Just give me the fucking games.
This is all bullshit aside. This strategy could end up making them more money than Sony and Nintendo combined. Because if you have all your games on PlayStation, if you have all your games on Nintendo, you have all your games on PC, all your games on Chrome, all your games on iOS, all your games on Android, on Mac, everything.
Yeah,
that's just a flux of money that even that might even make Sony and Nintendo think, yo, Microsoft's making too much money. What are we doing?
Here's the thing: as a gamer, I give rat's ass about what money they have or how it's coming in or whatever. The only thing I care about are the games. That's it.
And but games cost money.
Well, that's true, but guess what? In order to get money, you have to create games. You have to create.
Yeah, I know that, but Microsoft's like, Michael, look at it this way. Right now, Halo is only available on one platform.
Yeah,
Xbox One. It's not available on PS4, which has 73 million units. It's not available on PC, which has how many gamers on it? It's not available on Mac, which has how many gamers on that? Wouldn't Halo be more successful if it was on everything? And if it's on everything, that means more Halo sales. More Halo sales mean more money. More money means more games.
I'm going to tell you guys this, right? So the Xbox fan base and the PlayStation fan base are it's like oil and water. A majority of the PlayStation gamers do not care for Halo and Gears, and they just don't.
I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody says that until it's on the preferred platform. There's a difference between saying they don't care about Halo if it costs them $200 plus the $60 to play it.
Yeah.
But if it's just $60 and it's already on the platform you prefer to play, people will play it. It's a popular game. People will, and then don't forget, you have PS4 gamers that came from 360. They just left the Xbox environment because they didn't like what Microsoft was preaching back in 2013. But you still have people on PS4 that came from Xbox 360 and enjoyed Halo. They won't mind playing Halo if all it is just $60. Now, it's a complete different story is got to play Halo and buy the console to do it. Some people be like, I don't want to buy an Xbox, so I'm going to leave it alone. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long, but I think Halo would definitely have more sales. All right. I'm not saying it's going to outsell the Xbox One version, but it would have more sales if you add it to PlayStation, if you add it to PC, if you add it to Mac, if you add it to Switch, and somehow, maybe you'll release the 720p version of it, whatever. I mean, hell, look at Skyrim. Skyrim became huge on Switch. That's the weakest one out of all of them.
Yeah. The gamers, at the end of the day, all they were asking for, all the gamers wanted was more good games, more AAA games, and for stuff to go from one generation to the next and to add new stuff. I mean, that's all the gamers were asking. They weren't asking for all of this stuff.
Let me address the super chat. Garuda Legends. He goes, did you watch my Smite gameplay talking about characters that would be in God of War? No, I did not, brother. Hit me up in the DM. Send me the link in the DM. I would like to check it out. All right, I appreciate that. Hit me up in the DM. All right, but here's the thing. Here's another thing. All right, there's a difference of what we say over Twitter, of what we say on YouTube and forums, and then there's what we say with our wallets. You know what I'm saying? Wallet-wise, the Xbox console's not selling well, or not selling well to the point where it's competitive in the market. All right.
Somebody said in the chat, Xbox is dead. No, Xbox wouldn't be dead in this situation. Matter of fact, it would be everywhere. It would be in your face.
It's evolving. It's evolving to something else. Now it's going to be like Netflix. It's going to be just everywhere. It's going to be on your phone. It's going to be from your Obama phone to your high-end PC and everything in between. You know what I'm saying? What up to the chat? Hey, I want to welcome everybody to the podcast. Right now I got Fonzarelli and J-Dub City. Shout yourselves out, gentlemen.
Hey, what's up? It's good to be here.
Awesome. And J-Dub.
Hey, it's your boy J-Dub.
Got a cardboard.
Yeah.
Just wait till it drops. Just wait.
He's gonna unbox it, man.
I'm gonna be passing them cardboard boxes out like it's right.
He's gonna be gifting people that don't even have a Switch. But Jay, I don't even have a Switch. I don't care. You're getting this cardboard. Congratulations.
I'd like to ask you guys this question because I tried to ask it on multiplayer yesterday and it didn't get an answer.
All right, real quick. I know where you're gonna lead to. Let me just address this super chat. Milkmaster $5. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "What's going on? People make it interesting with facts and a little bit of opinions." Of course, man. I got the most intelligent minds up in here. Well, at least until Super Jamaican joins, then it's just gonna get ignorant.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So go ahead.
Okay, so basically what I wanted to know is if and this is all just speculation, guys, so don't have my head on a stick here, but if Microsoft decided to make this app in the future, put it on other devices, not have their games everywhere, and also have a traditional console themselves, but it's not necessary, what would be the problem with them expanding in that way, in your opinions? What would be the problem for you?
Go ahead, Kratos. You first.
It would really take away and I think that's part of the problem. People feel like it's taking away the value. When I spend money, right? When I go shopping, budget goes a long way, yes, but my gaming experience, for me, and this is just my opinion, is very expensive. I spare no expense when it comes to my hobby of choice. So if they have an Xbox 2 out there, but I'm able to play those same games on my PlayStation 5 or Pro or whatever, it really kind of defeats the purpose. Why would I have to go out and spend another $500 or $200 or $300 or whatever for that when I can basically just get everything there all on one platform? And therefore, again, I'm saving money. That goes back to the Game Pass. I had Sea of Thieves pre-ordered, right? $65 pre-ordered. Well, now that I know it's going to come out day and date with the on Game Pass, I refund my money and I took that $60 and spent elsewhere. I'm just going to spend the $10 and get to play it and have fun and everything else. Yes, it saves me money. It's a great budget. It's a great thing. But at the end of the day, I really, man, it's
the traditionalist.
And I'm still processing. I'm still processing.
But it's the traditionalist in you. You like to go out and experience the first, when the consoles drop and all that stuff. I get that too. But at the same time, from a business standpoint, it's brilliant coming from Microsoft because software and services is what makes the most money. Bottom line, these consoles are not what's pulling in the bank for them. Mm-hmm. So they are thinking outside of the box, literally, guys. And that's the way I see it. But Porter Rock, what do you say, man? Like, what do you think?
I have zero issues. Absolutely none. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like me, I'm probably one of the few people on these streets that got the Xbox at the most cheapest price possible, $60. Yeah. Right? And I haven't turned it on in weeks simply because there's really no more exclusives to play. Right? Other than PUBG, that's about it. But I'm gonna wait till the game is in a better form. Other than that, there's nothing else. I can only imagine if I would have spent $200 on this thing. You see what I'm saying? All right. Now if this was
$500, Rock.
Oh my God, I can't even begin. I would have to convert how the library of where I play my games. Like if you're the type to play your best version, whatever, but I'm not like that. I stick to one ecosystem, which is a PlayStation, because just from my experience, PlayStation traditionally always brings out the games that I want to play. And I'm not just talking about big blockbuster games. Sometimes it's like, the niche Japanese games, action games, hack and slash, stuff like that. They seem to get it with the relationships they have with certain developers. So that's why 9 times out of 10, I'm going to pick PlayStation simply because I have more faith in them just delivering the content that I know I'm going to want to play, right? Mm-hmm. As far as Xbox, if your preferred platform is Xbox, that's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? You're going to play your multiplayer. You're going to play best version of the games if you have the One X, whatever. But the way I see it, in the reality, hardware-wise, Microsoft is not competing with PlayStation and Nintendo. Microsoft's getting their ass kicked. That's not saying the console's bad or that the console's not worth it. It's just a reality. Microsoft looks at Sony and see how easy they could sell 80 million, almost 80 million in 4 years. And then they look back at them, they'd be like, damn, how come we're struggling every freaking time? Even with the 360, it took them 8 years to sell 80 million. So even when they're doing good, they have the exclusives, they have the multi-plats, they have the exclusive content, they have time exclusives, they have the better arcade, they have the better online. Just everything firing on all cylinders. It still takes them almost a decade to sell 80 million. And Sony releases a $600 Blu-ray player, and they sell 80 million right along with them. After a while, you got to look back and be like, is this hardware battle really make sense for Microsoft?
And Porter Rock, we already know it's established that they are working on some sort of streaming service. Xbox is. I mean, Phil Spencer has talked about this. So that is a fact. Now, in the future, if they have something similar to PS Now, even if they limit at 720p resolution and people are streaming their games on all sorts of devices, not just their console, it's a brilliant strategy because they will be making money on all kinds of devices out there. I think it's awesome.
And here's the thing.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, people will be playing those shooters on phones because I see him, like my brother-in-law. He's a phone gamer along with consoles. And I see him playing these Call of Duty looking games, with his phone, and I'm thinking, what you playing? You playing story mode? He goes, no, I'm online. I'm like, how many people are playing online? He's like, 16. I'm like, what? Like, you're playing with 16 people on a fucking phone? Like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. There's there's at least 12,000 people playing right now. I'm like, and there's people who play RPGs, MMOs. Now imagine if you have an actual authentic good shooter like Gears or Halo or something like that.
But we also
they're going to play.
There are people like me though that like it hardwired. I don't want to play this, streaming service stuff. I have to get, I have to play it at the best possible resolutions and everything. So there'll still be people like me that'll buy the Xbox console or whatever they have. So that ain't going anywhere. So they're going to be making, but as I've been saying, it's software and it's services that really make the money for Microsoft. And that is what they're going to go after. That's what they are going after right now. I mean, we see it with Game Pass all day. What about you, buddy? What do you think, man?
What was the question?
About, those guys, I was trying to ask.
So do you see any negative behind Microsoft just saying we're going to put all our software and services on everything, to include Nintendo, PlayStation, Mac, everything?
I mean, if Game Pass takes off I don't see the reason why they wouldn't. I mean, they want to capitalize on that revenue they're getting in from Xbox, you know. So why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not put it on other platforms so people can, you know, try to stay around long term and get as much revenue as possible. You know what I mean? I think it's a positive thing for them. You know what I mean? That type of scenario won't work for everybody else, but it could work for Microsoft because they're not. I mean, they can't really keep up, you know, with PlayStation right now. You know, as traditional, you know, a console. You know what I mean? They just can't. They can't. So this $10 increments a month and all this, getting all the games, all their exclusives, that turns heads. Period.
Yeah.
That's for the holidays and people on a budget, all types of people, man.
Let me address the chat. Hey, what's up, Cyrus Martin, one of my sponsors. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Daniel J, he said $2 super chat. If you buy those PG, he's talking about the sneakers. Do you get a platinum? I don't know, dog, baby. Man, I know you got a code though. There's like a PSN code on each sneaker.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know, player.
Yeah, let us know. All right. Garuda, $15 super chat. He said, do I hit you up on Twitter, PSN? Damn, you didn't have to do a super chat for that, brother. But yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hit me up on Twitter. Send me the link on my DM on your stream right there. And then I think there was one more. Okay, my man Lincoln Clay, he just did $5 super chat just to say hello. What's up, brother, man? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead. Continue, gents.
Yeah, so it's a good thing, period, man. I mean, for them.
Yeah.
Now here's my thing. Let's adjust the counter.
Wait. I got to say something, but why not for the gamer? Because you said for them. Because I think it could be for the gamer as well. I mean, all the money, all the revenue they're getting from these other devices, they could pour back into software. They could pour back into games.
Well, of course. But I'm just saying it's good for them due to the climate.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, because I'm looking at it, you know, from the perspective that we were getting yesterday with some of the
I heard that. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. They can pour. I mean, come on, you talk about making $100 million in a month, you know, potentially. So that can get poured in the studios, easy.
Yes.
But what do you think the problem is for some of these people? Like, what do you think they have an issue with?
Let's address the first thing they said. They said this could impact hardware sales. I almost lost my mind because I wanted to be like, what hardware sales? Like, what hardware sales? Like, what hardware sales are they talking about? Like, Microsoft, like, we don't even know how well the Xbox One X sold. You know, they never even gave a value. They never said, hey, you know, since launch, Xbox One X sold X amount of consoles. We don't even know that.
Hey, Tudor said Xbox is trying to force us into net neutrality trap. They can eat a dick.
You see what I'm saying? And then another one, I think it was K-Mega, he said that, that's bullshit because, you know, they still have to worry about selling their consoles. I didn't think of it at the time, but I'm thinking, wait a minute. They're basically saying exclusive sells consoles.
Yeah.
So now they're saying that now? When we've been trying to tell them this all last year?
Look, they're gonna
sell consoles?
They're gonna put the spin on it however they want to fit whatever they're thinking at that time. At the end of the day, right? This Game Pass is great. I love it. It's great for the gamer who's budget conscious and who, you know, I'm able to get all of their new exclusives for $10. That's great. I mean, I'm ecstatic about that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a separate. I'm separating that thing from where Microsoft is going further. Being able to play all their games on the PlayStation. Yes, that would be great, but again, Microsoft is going to turn into Sega. They're going to turn into a Sega company, a software-only company. They're just going to make software. It's going to go everywhere. Are they able to make the quality? Now, here's the thing. This is how they ended up in this situation here. If you bypass 2013, you can always fix mistakes, but when you bring the software, when you bring the games that people want to play, not the mediocre games, but the great games that go out and sell consoles and go out and bring your attention, that is what matters. When people say Xbox has no games, Xbox has games. Here's the thing. This whole generation, they only had the games like the Halo, Gears, and the Forza, but anything outside that trio, it was mediocre. even to the Xbox guys. I'm taking my fanboy hat off. It has nothing to do with PlayStation or Nintendo guys. But even to his base, those guys didn't see the value in Quantum Break. They didn't see the value of Sunset Overdrive. They didn't see the value of a lot of those other games. Therefore, they did not buy them. Therefore, that forced Microsoft into thinking in a total different direction, and they have nobody else to blame but themselves.
Yeah, you have some great points there, because when it comes to the content, for something like Game Pass to really thrive and to expand further, they're going to need to put out original content on a consistent basis, but not only just original, but good content on a consistent basis. That is how that is the Netflix business model, let's say. I mean,
and they're not going to have exclusives dropping every month, so you're going to have to get some of these better third-party games on there.
But it's not just about that all day, because you got to understand there is a lot of exclusives they'll drop, like Sea of Thieves. That's a multiplayer game that'll be played for months and months by millions of people out there. And they're banking on that fact that they'll have games that are out there that are social games, and they have legs. They're going to be played.
Well, I'm talking about the future.
But I'm just saying they need to drop consistently and drop some good games.
Mm-hmm. I think the days, guys, of them bringing those big blockbuster games, the big expensive AAAs, I think those days are over. I think we're going to get some.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, here's the thing. With Game Pass, if it takes off, and they're making this continuous revenue stream on top of, selling games at brick and mortars, they could pour that money back into game development, and they can have some.
They're going to have a whole bunch of studios on the table as empty cups. A little bit for you. Here's a little bit for you. Here's a little bit for you. And that's it.
I think they could. So it could go either way. I could see what you're saying too, Kratos, but it could go either way. But I still have a little bit more faith in Microsoft. I believe that they can bring us those blockbusters again.
Mm-hmm. I hope, but this has been going on this has been 5 years now. We've been trying to see where Microsoft, how they can find their footing, how they're going to change the ship around, how they're going to, and right now we're still, every single year, this generation, we've been asking the same question. What's going on with Microsoft? There's that big puzzle. Where are they going? What are they trying to do? And here it is, 2018, and we're still asking the same question. And I believe 2019, we're going to be asking the same question. And people who don't know the direction of a company, or people that don't have faith in the direction of a company, they don't feel comfortable, and therefore they don't buy. They buy into something that they know it's rock solid, something that they're comfortable with, and know that it's going to be here today and tomorrow. You don't want to, even in real life, you don't want to invest in something that's unstable. And that's part of the problem.
Well, here's the thing. Number one, I see what you're saying, but Microsoft, it's not like they're in a position Sony in where they're in the limelight and they're the best-selling unit. They're not. They're trying to get there. So that's why they're making all these moves, because currently the console is not the best-selling console. It's not the majority of the market share. It doesn't have all these metrics where they need to be nervous about changing direction or coming up with a new plan. It's not like Sony. Like, yes, they try to say, oh, then how come Sony doesn't do it? It's because they're at the top. So any major shift could screw that over. It could screw them over. So they're going to be more careful on what they want to do as compared to Microsoft.
You know what? I honestly think that Xbox is really working on games right now. I think they're really working on that content. I honestly do. And some people in the chat are like making fun. Oh, you still have faith in Microsoft? LOL. Come on. I really do think that they're working on games right now, and they're going to come out with some great games. But this whole Game Pass thing has just thrown a whole wrench into the gaming space. That the landscape is changing. If this takes off, it'll definitely change, because the other companies have to look at it.
What if it doesn't, guys? Let's play the devil's advocate, okay? Like what you just said, Fonz. If this thing takes off, okay. What if this thing doesn't take off? Then
just like any other product, Microsoft will write off Xbox and we'll forget about it. And Microsoft, as a multi-billion-dollar corporation, will live on. And Xbox is gone. I mean, look at Zoom. Where's that at? Groove Media Player. Mm-hmm. The people think that Microsoft needs Xbox. Microsoft doesn't need Xbox at all. This is just an extra venture to make money. But if this shit gets too sideways to where it's not worth it, they'll just write it off. They'll make an announcement, hey everybody, yada yada yada. Sorry, da da da. It's our 2-hour dismay. We're so sad. Yada yada. Please forgive us. Da da da. And then that's it.
Bills, man.
All right, let me pay some bills. So Milkmaster, he says, I think if this takes off, they won't go back to the old-fashioned way of producing games and relying on online services from now on business. I mean, yeah, I can see that. Definitely, if it's successful, they're definitely not going to go.
Yeah, but the problem with that is they need the software to bring people that successful. They need the software.
But Fonz, wasn't that part of the problem originally? You needed the software
they're literally looking outside the box now. They want to focus on services and games because that is what makes money. It's not the consoles themselves. They are, like I said, literally looking outside the box. They want to bring these services to us, but they have to bring good content to make those worthwhile. And I understand that.
And Andrew Wilkins, he says, fuck Xbox fans. They fraud on their giveaways and don't pay their bets.
Oh, shit.
That's a shout out. That's a shot at D.
Hey, shout out to Obi in the chat, man. He said, I think they're working on the game too, but it's a type of games that scare me.
Yeah,
I mean are
they all going to be
that comes with the territory?
PUBG type games. I mean, are they all going to be PUBG and Sea of Thieves type games where it's all multiplayer and it's all like able to add loot crates and all kind of content so they can make more money? Is every game going forward going to be like that? Will we not?
Well, a lot, not every game.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, I agree with Fonz that in order for this to work, you need the games, right?
Yep.
And it's not all going to come from Microsoft Studios. They're going to go to third parties and be like, hey, can you put this game at least timed exclusive on our Game Pass? And we'll give you this amount of money. Or we'll give you this amount of revenue for this period of time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like if your game reaches so many downloads, you get, they could say for every 100 downloads, you get $5. Or for every 1,000 downloads, you get
similar to streaming music. Like when you stream, I think it's one song every 1,500 plays is an album sale.
Exactly.
And don't get it twisted, chat. Like we're all in agreement on this panel that in the future Xbox is going to a more Steambox, that's the way they're going to go. They're going to go that way. They're going to be putting their apps on different devices. They're going to have their own little box, set-top box or whatever. You're going to be able to play their games in the future everywhere. But the thing is, in order for that to be successful, I am just saying you need to have good content. And we're all saying that pretty much.
Listen,
and 60% of Game Pass cannot be like it is currently 360 games.
It can't.
If Microsoft had Sony's games, right, this would work. This would be a huge hit day one because everybody will be looking forward to playing God of War and Spider-Man and all that stuff, right?
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I love Sony stuff and whatever, but the big thing to really make this service successful is going to be the third-party games, the big multiplayer shooters. That's where, all the multiplayer games. It's going to be those games. Yeah. Microsoft's going to have to find a way to get those games on Game Pass. That's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? It's just it. It's just those big third-party games. And again, more third-party crunches out more games than first-party because, the third-party industry is the majority of gaming. Yeah. They're the most out there. So the more Microsoft can go at them and be like, hey, can you put this on Game Pass a year exclusive or 3 months exclusive? That's the key. They're going to have to entice with exclusives. That's an enticing part. And they're going to have to entice third party, even if it's a photo. And I think they will do that. I think they will try to get these.
Yeah, I can see this being successful, dude, because I can definitely see them working on it. I know they're working on stuff right now. I mean, come on. It's obvious. They got to be working on big stuff.
Shout out to my man Trey BK. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if they're not working on big stuff, dude, then all this is just a fail.
Yeah. And shout out to Trey BK. Super chat. He says Microsoft will sustain with episodic content. That's definitely a strategy. He says PSVR for PR. But that is a strategy. Episodic content on Game Pass will work.
Yeah, and it would work if it was really engaging and good story, good gameplay. Of course, that would be awesome. That would work.
Yeah, like a Telltale games. Who knows? They might cut an exclusive deal with Telltale.
Yep.
To do a specific game just for them. Maybe like a Halo Telltale thing. A Gears Telltale thing. You know what I'm saying?
About it, we're already going to get what is it? Final Fantasy VII episodic coming soon.
Yeah. Well, it's not episodic. Like that was a confusing. That was a confusion.
It wasn't. Okay.
No. So what they're doing a 3-part like they did with Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, that's what it is. It's not episodic. It's just 3 parts, 3 games pretty much. Milk Master, another super chat. Thank you very much, brother. He said Xbox originally focused on service. The original Xbox One was intended for service like cable, Netflix. I don't know about that because I had the old Xbox One. I never got that feeling from the OG Xbox. OG Xbox still had that traditional console feel. Hell, I used to call it the success of the Dreamcast because a lot of the games Dreamcast had went over to
the controller,
Xbox and the controller. So everything like merged over to that platform. And it just felt like the Dreamcast in a way. And that's kind of what I loved about it and whatever. But it's true. Like what I was trying to tell him yesterday, what is Microsoft's DNA? How did they become one of the richest company in the world? And they did it by They did it by providing services and and software, productivity to everything. Microsoft at no point says, hey, we're selling you Windows, but you got to buy a Windows PC to get it. They never did that. You got it on Dell. You got it on Sony Vaio when they were making PCs. You got it on Toshiba, Hewlett-Packard. You got it when you built the PC yourself, you know? When Microsoft says, hey, we got Windows Server, put it on whatever network you want it on. We're not going to tell you what network to not put it on. You know what I'm saying? They made their monies by simply making the productivity, making the software, making the services, and let other people spend the money on research and design for manufacturing hardware. Let other people battle out the market space for, oh, my computer's better than their computer. Cool. Dell's the best computer? Here you go. Toshiba's the worst selling computer? You still get Windows. You'll get Windows on the worst selling computer, and you'll get it on the best selling computers. We don't care. Oh, you don't like pre-built computers? You like to build your own? Here's an individual disk for $200. There you go. Install it. You know what I'm saying? That's how they became rich. That's how they became Microsoft.
What do you think about going into next generation? You know, we got a couple of years out, but let's say going into next generation, this Game Pass as is right now is a success for them. Okay, let's say it's a success. They go into next gen. Do you think that changes anything for Sony?
No.
Right
now, Sony is so far. They're again, like Rock said earlier, they're not in the same league. Sony's gonna continue doing whatever they can do. Remember, their whole being revolves around video games now. PlayStation is their bread and butter. So obviously, they have to.
Do you think it may affect console sales for Sony if Game Pass is provided and the games that are out? Like I'm saying, what if they come out with some good blockbusters from Microsoft Studios and it's on Game Pass and going into next gen, these blockbusters are right there day one. You don't think that
good?
Hurts? I think
finally you're on track.
Whew. For what? Can you say that again? I'm looking at the DM, and for a minute I was like lost. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this DM?
You saw it?
Are they? Is the pictures pretty much saying they're not showing the consoles no more on display?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It looks like it's all digital. You see those cards are in place of the console, like digital cards.
And this is GameStop, though. This is GameStop
and Walmart.
And Walmart.
That's crazy, bro.
Have you seen this, Vons?
Not firsthand. Not firsthand.
No, I'm talking about the pictures. It's in the DM.
Yeah, but what is it? That's not really showing me anything. I mean,
yeah, it is. I know. It's not showing any hardware, right? It's just TV and a bunch of digital codes. I mean, that's.
And this is like normally, like if this was a Sony dude, I'm like, they just took pictures at a different angle and talking shit. But this is Predator.
Yeah.
He's an Xbox advocate.
But what if this is a guy that, he has a local Walmart that's sold out, I mean,
no, you don't understand.
This is the kiosk.
This is the kiosk. They took out the hardware.
Yeah, but
they took out the hardware kiosk and then placed it with just digital cards.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, bro.
Yeah, it's weird. I agree. It's odd, but I'm not going to speculate too much and say, "Oh my God, it's happening." Some crazy.
Well, P-Rock, this may transition over to that article that came out where the Austrian or Austria? Yeah, Austria retailer basically said, well,
Well, I'm gonna say this. I could understand maybe like Austria. I've never been to that country, but like I said before, there's a lot of places in Europe where Xbox barely exist. You understand? So let's say like if Austria, Xbox is not selling well in general at all to begin with, and now they pull this move, but they're like, man, you barely selling what you are selling right now. Now you do this, forget it. It's not worth it to have
their lost about what we were
in our store.
about.
But keep in mind, Rock, you got to realize it. This is a shot over the bow for GameStop. For this whole generation, even starting in the beginning, Microsoft has been trying to go against GameStop.
Well, they're trying to fight the
middleman.
Yeah, they're trying to cut out the middleman. So
they're trying to fight the multi-billion-dollar used industry.
Yeah, so GameStop could say, you know what, the hell with it. We're tired of it. We're fed up.
What's going to happen when they start, trading in your digital games for, credit on your account?
Yeah.
That's going to happen soon.
Yeah, but Microsoft
only said like 10%. So 10% of freaking $60 game. Nobody's going for that. They'll just,
I don't know about that 10%, bro. Shit, I might as well keep it.
Yeah, Microsoft wants in on that.
Real quick, people are saying that I'm in denial about this whole thing with the pictures and the Xbox consoles being gone. Guys, it's pictures on the internet. I'm not going to, put too much stock into, a guy posting a couple of pictures. It's not, it's not that serious. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like if this was widespread and it's going on, then yeah, I mean, we'd have more pictures up there from several different people.
Well, maybe this is new. We just got to wait and see.
Yeah. We just got to see. We just got to see.
If it happens, I wouldn't be shocked necessarily.
Official announcement or like something like if we see an official announcement where GameStop says we will no longer be carrying Xbox hardware, we will still carry the digital games and library. That would be a fucking shock.
Yeah. Well, in the kiosk picture, they showed PlayStation too. They didn't have a hardware either. So I don't know, man.
That's true.
Do you guys think that that's a possibility that may happen sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I mean,
retailers are starting to get.
They're probably looking at people because honestly, bro, the only time I seen people playing at a kiosk when the Switch was coming out and when Mario was coming out.
That's another thing. It's true. It's not a long-term thing. Yeah, like who the hell's playing the PlayStation 4 on a kiosk now? So Garuda Legends, $5 super chat. He says so they canceled Fable and now talking about new Fable. Am I drunk? So the original Fable that they canceled was like a Amiibo, a MOBA, or whatever the fuck it was.
It was like an asymmetrical multiplayer game. Like one person's the monster, another one's the target.
Oh, like Evolve bullshit.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah. So it had nothing to do. So they're using the Fable universe to do some Evolve bullshit. So they canceled it. Now they're making a legit actual sequel, franchise. With the gameplay and all that. And that's the rumor.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, or rumored has it allegedly, Playground Games has the lead on it. Right, so that's what now. Andrew Wilkins. Let me just go down. Andrew Wilkins. He said Microsoft had Peter Moore as an agent. He fired everyone at Sega of America, then joined Xbox. That's why the OG Xbox is a copy of Dreamcast controller. Yeah, it is because Peter Moore was a big advocate for that. I miss Peter Moore. Next, Daniel J. to our super chat. Thank you so much. He says, "Can you imagine Windows on PlayStation?" I mean, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised when you see Microsoft games on PlayStation. And it's not, and everybody keeps thinking because I'm a PlayStation dude. I also see it on Nintendo. I also see it on Mac. Mm-hmm. I see it on Chrome. I see it on iOS. I see it on Android. All those devices. Yeah. Every single device will be playing Windows games. Mm-hmm. And there'll still be an Xbox because the way I see it, Xbox now is just a device. Look at it this way. Take Surface tablets, right? Microsoft sells Surface tablets, right? Mm-hmm. But they still sell that operating system to its competitors. Toshiba makes a tablet type thing that's a competitor to Surface. Dell makes one. But Microsoft still sells them that same operating system. Microsoft is not saying you can only get this type of operating system on Surface tablet because we want you to buy our tablet and not buy Toshiba's or don't buy Dell's. No, they don't do that. They say, fuck it, here. They don't care. Mm-hmm. You want to buy Surface tablet? Buy Surface tablet. Sure, good on us. But if you don't want Surface tablet and you prefer the way Toshiba does it, cool. We're still making money off you. Because that operating system, that money, that cost of the Toshiba tablet, part of that cost is the operating system, which is revenue that goes to Microsoft either way. So even against their competitors, they're making money off them. And I think that's how Microsoft sees gaming. Like, sure, you don't want to buy an Xbox because you could get everything on PlayStation or you could get everything on Nintendo. Cool. but those games you're buying, we still getting a check from you.
Did you guys already discuss Paragon?
Oh yeah. So yeah, that I just noticed that. So Paragon's gone. It's pretty much being shut down.
Yep.
So much for games as a service lasting forever.
Well, and that goes back to another thing I wanted to mention. With the whole focus, right, of all these multiplayer only games and all these services and things that go along with that to generate revenue. What if, because just think about it. Just years ago, companies were changing their whole focus for the mobile, for the, they were like, hey, the future is with cell phones and tablets and stuff. And that didn't pan out. So then they had to try to, it took them years to try to turn the curve around and do something else. Do you think this is Microsoft kind of quickly jumping on something because they see the revenue that could be generated from these type of things? Do you think it's possible that doesn't work? And, do you think it's just too early for them to try to determine this is the route that they want to go?
I'm gonna say the quickest.
Some things are trendy.
I'm gonna say a quickest answer. This is my quick answer. To me, whether it's a multiplayer or single player, the game has to be good to be successful. If it ain't good, people don't want to play it. It's not gonna be successful. And that, to me, I don't care if it's multiplayer, single player, MMO, whatever. A good game's a good game. A good game's gonna be successful. And that's just really it. Just because you are multiplayer doesn't automatically mean it's going to be a successful multiplayer.
Yeah, he's talking more about like the service-based games, right? So you're talking about all these games like Paragon and eventually Sea of Thieves. I could see, them throwing some stuff in there to get people attached. Yeah. I think you have to strike while the iron is hot. Of course, whatever's trending, you have to follow with the trends. But I do see in the future that there's going to be a bubble burst with all these types of games, with these loot boxes and everything. I think at one point people are going to get tired of this shit. I mean, I'm already tired of it, but the thing is like so many people are out there still spending their money on this kind of stuff, and they think it's cool. We get to have longevity in these games because we get to buy more stuff and upgrade our characters. But there's going to come a point when people are going to get tired of it. I can definitely see that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Another super chat. Garuda, $2. He said the Xbox is an app on Win 10. You can delete it. I think so. I guess I don't know what he's referring to. Did anybody talk about that or something?
I don't know.
Any of us mentioned that?
About what?
About the Xbox app on Win 10?
Yeah, clarify your comment in the comment section, bro.
Yeah, if you could just do a quick clarification. Were you addressing a comment one of us said? But ultimately, here's another thing, and this probably leads into the whole Microsoft vision. So, game developers conference is in March, right? Mm-hmm. Thousands of developers will be attending. So, a survey was sent out to 4,000 game developers, right?
Oh, what you posted that was recent?
Yeah, it's recent.
Oh, okay.
It's what's coming out. This is recent, 2018, right? Mm-hmm. So 4,000 developers took part in this survey, and the question was, which platform most interests you as a developer right now, right? Mm-hmm. And right now, these are numbers. So 59% that took the survey said PC, 39% said PlayStation 4 Pro, so pretty much the PlayStation 4 family, 36% said Nintendo Switch, 33% said VR headsets, 30% says smartphone tablets, and 28% says Xbox One/One X.
Damn.
Damn. Out of 4,000 developers are attending this conference. And then 23% say AR headsets, 14% said Mac, 10% tabletop games, 9% said web browser, 8% Linux, and yada, yada, yada. I posted the link in the description box. But
hey guys, I just want to jump in real quick and say I got to run, guys, but it was fun talking about this stuff. A lot of speculation, of course, but it was fun, man. So
okay. It's gonna be cool to see how this podcast looks in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you keep the tapes, P-Rock, so you keep them.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping this. This thing's getting bookmarked. I'm gonna put in a time vote. So what you gentlemen think about this? And not to troll, don't troll the the whatever. But seriously, this is a serious thing. You have 4,000 developers, and 30% are interested in smartphone tablets, while 28% are interested in Xbox One and Xbox One X.
You want to go?
Interesting.
You want to go? Craig?
That's fucking crazy.
Got Craig in the house.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Craig? Yeah, man, brother. What's going on? Top flight security of the world. Hey, we'll start with you, brother. Definitely.
Right. I think I just saw that I saw that on Twitter. Thanks for the invite. And sorry I'm late, guys. I had to make the donuts today. But
there you go.
Yeah, they I think what you posted is kind of the way isn't that kind of what we kind of thought? I mean, PC is the dominant, platform that you develop to, then everything kind of spins down. The Switch, the Nintendo Switch is a up and coming console. I mean, that thing is they may hit 16 million this year, 16 to 17 million sold, not shipped, sold. And and then smartphones, tablets. I think a lot of people that number is actually lower than I thought it would be based on what you tweeted out. But am I shocked that the Xbox is where it is? A little bit, but not surprised. It's kind of like, I hope that changes in a couple of years for Xbox. I like my Redbox One. I'm cool with it, but
shit.
Man,
yo, that's the worst thing I said, bro. Everybody's saying that shit now. Redbox One X. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do?
Yeah, look, everybody who bought one, and I know I'm late. It's just probably been said. I'm gonna say this tomorrow. This is very important that I say this now, though. Anybody who got into the Xbox ecosystem that didn't know they were going to do this is a moron, because they have been. This is the equivalent of somebody, you playing baseball. It's a 3-2 pitch. You know they got to throw their best pitch. Their best pitch is a fastball.
Yeah,
swing late. It's like you knew this was coming. So you should have known. And if you knew and you invested, great. Because I've talked to a lot of people on the podcast. Kratos, Sick Humor has all said, oh yeah, they're going to go digital mostly. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you're probably right. And now that they're starting to move in that direction, now you got people crying about it. I'm excited about it. You can just rent your games as long as you're cool without owning your games. Because if you're going to rent. How many of us have gone down to the Redbox and rented a movie or something like that? We're just going to do it with our games now. Redbox One X, baby. Uncompromised 4K. That's where we're at.
No, but I am kind of surprised.
I'll say this about that. I'm not surprised, and I think Microsoft is probably not surprised. And this goes into. I mean, they didn't wake up overnight and say, "Hey, this is the direction," or "This is what we need to do." They've been looking at the stats. They have the same stats. Yeah. They have better stats, and they have the numbers that they don't share from month to month and from year to year. They have those. They know, what they're doing and where they need to go in order to be successful. And you look at this, they're probably saying, "Look, hey, we're at the bottom right here. The fact speaks." Now I tell anyone who want to argue whatever, I tell them, look, people, they poll with their wallets. You can say this is the best, this is the bad, but at the end of the day, if people don't go out and buy it, does it really even matter? You're just talking your own personal opinion, but the only thing that matters is what's in people's wallets and where they spend it. And that led to where we are now.
Yeah. Now that you think, and let me ask all day this.
What up?
And this is for everybody. When you look back at 2013, go back to 2010, when they start development for the Xbox. To do. It's just they tried to come in like Ramrod and say, we're going to do this and ram it down your throat. And just people, we were going to move in this direction anyway, but it had to be more organic. More people are buying digital games that surpassed physical last year. So now this is in Microsoft. I've heard other people say this, and big shout out to Randall Thor. He's right. I agree 100% with him. Bottom line is, this is Microsoft's baby. They can control this market. You can't compete with Sony. You can't. And Nintendo is now breathing down your neck. So I just wanted to ask.
Let me elaborate on that point, because I don't want people to think we're saying, because whatever console's your preference is your own personal opinion. But and this is my interpretation of Craig saying, you can't compete with Sony. It's because, again, Nintendo and Sony, their platform is accessible worldwide. Like I said, right off the bat, Microsoft doesn't have access to Asia. So right off the get-go, they're already at a disadvantage. Most of the European countries don't care for Xbox. They mostly are primarily PlayStation and Nintendo platforms. So all these disadvantages that Microsoft had, like I said, it took them 8 years, and this is when they were at their best in terms of the brand, firing on all cylinders with exclusives, content. They got Grand Theft Auto day one, but they had time exclusive to the DLC. The better online. They innovated with achievements, the better controller versus PS3 that didn't even have Rumble when it launched. It was $200 cheaper. It was just, and they had a $300 version that was cheaper for those that didn't want to pay $400. I mean, they had so many things done right. Yet it took them 8 years to sell 80 million. And that was the same year PS3 sold 80 million. And the PS3 launched a year after Xbox, and it was $200 more expensive. And it was primarily a Trojan horse for Blu-ray and sell. So Microsoft had to look at that gen like, this is bullshit. Like, how the fuck these dudes match us? And they launched their console $600. They're like, this ain't even, I would be pissed. I'd be like, this is some bullshit here. How the fuck? Like, I mean, seriously, you go look up, Microsoft announced 80 million 360 sales, right? It was October 2013. 3 weeks later, Sony announced they reached 80 million. And they came out a year later at $600. What? You guys are like 3 weeks behind us? Like, you got to be kidding me, So after a while, Microsoft has to look at the landscape and be like, our console don't sell in Asia. We barely sell in Europe, right? America, we're getting beat. We don't even talk about hardware sales. We lost November on the launch month of our, brand new console. Like, what else can they do really to sell more consoles? I think at this point, they're like, you know what? We're Microsoft. We don't sell hardware. Since when do we ever sell hardware? We're not known for that. We're known for software. We're known for services. We'll provide. Hell, Sony could use your service if they want. We will sell all our stuff that we got to anybody and everyone. That's how we make our money. So our money is not off a direct, fist-to-fist fight with Sony. It's using Sony's fan base. So that way we can sell Halo to Asia on the back of Sony and Nintendo. That's how we're going to get our games in the Asian market. We're going to put it on PC and on Nintendo and Sony. We'll let them fight it out, but our games is going to be on their platform. That way we can finally sell games to the Asian market.
Those smaller developers have more reach when it's global. You know what I mean? If they're outside of the region, they can, reach out and extend their games to the platforms willing. You know what I mean? So
again, guys, they're going to have good games, not these mediocre games that they throw out just to, they have to be good. They have to get people's attention. And I mean, that's basically...
that's going to come with time. That's going to take more time. Even Sony comes out with games nobody really gives a shit about. Like, who the hell gives a hell about Knack? Like, no one cares. All right? No one cares. No one cares about Knack. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
All right? No one really cares about Knack. Even Killzone overall is a mediocre franchise. It's not one of those big blockbuster, now Guerrilla's getting props now because of Horizon Zero Dawn. Mm-hmm. Now they're like the big studio. But look what it took. It took them like 9 years. It's a hell. When did Killzone came out? Like, fucking, that was on PlayStation 2. It came out like, what, 2004? 5?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while.
So it took them like 13. It took them 12 years to finally get respect.
Yeah, but Microsoft has been in the business now for what, 15 years? So, I mean, but
remember, they had their hits.
Rookies.
They had their hits, but they're just on a downslope, Yeah. They had their hits. They're on a downslope now. But I think...
Do you think Halo, Gears, and Forza being in the Japanese market and being on every other platform, do you think that's what is going to get them in that market and people are going to buy those games over in Asia?
That's part of it. That's part of it. People, the reason why Halo's not big in Asian market, look, they have Call of Duty Online over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They play those games. They just don't want to buy an Xbox to play it. They're not going to buy it. They're not going to pay $200. They're not going to pay 300,000 yen for an Xbox. They don't care that much. But if you put it on the platform they already own, cool. Let me try it out.
Another thing.
Like Forza, they will definitely buy Forza. They will definitely do it. It's a racing game. but they're not going to do it on an Xbox. They're not going to do it on an Xbox.
Even if those Microsoft games may not have all the features. Because I honestly do believe they're going to put an app everywhere and make it accessible. I do think Microsoft will always say, if you want all the features, you have to be in our ecosystem. But I do think they'll give you enough. They'll give you a little that taste so that you can go ahead and play it anywhere. I mean, can you imagine playing a Cuphead or a game like Cuphead on the Switch?
That would be huge.
Yeah,
Cuphead on Switch will probably sell. It will probably outsell the Xbox One version.
It could, and the PC version.
Because Nintendo guys love platformers. That shit could be huge. That game could honestly sell like 4 million on the Switch alone.
Yeah, and you guys are right. You brought up the Trojan horse of the PS3 for Blu-ray. They've got an ecosystem between Sony and Nintendo. They've got is that 90 million consoles? Yeah. I mean, of course they're going to do, and again, this is for the people who did not understand, saying, oh no, Microsoft wouldn't do it. Well, you also said they wouldn't do what they just did. Yeah. They're going to do this.
They're going to do this. I mean, think about it. Right now, there's 90 million between Switch. Switch has 14 million?
Yeah.
Right? Something like that? So 90 million. Let's say 90 million. Let's say 90 million between PS4 and Nintendo. Right? The same audience Minecraft has. Yep. You're telling me you think they don't want to put Halo, Gears, Cuphead, these games on that same audience? That's a whole lot of audience that's missing out on. And for what? So they could just appease 30 million, 40 million console sales if they even have that? I don't even think they have 40 million, to be honest. I honestly believe they're not at 40 million to this date.
And you brought up Minecraft. Who did Microsoft just hire to be in charge of the games?
The guy who built Minecraft. That's his forte.
Yeah,
put everything on everything. Great point. I didn't even think about that yesterday. The guy they put in charge for first party is the man that made a game that's on everything.
Exactly.
He doesn't think like that. In his mind, he doesn't think exclusive. He thinks put it on everything, from tablets to phones to high-end PCs. That's his mindset. Yo, good fucking thinking, Craig. Why didn't I think of that yesterday? They put the guy in charge, literally is the man. That's his philosophy.
Yep.
He's the creator of Minecraft. He's the reason why Minecraft is on everything. That's how he thinks.
And let me tell you, there's one thing I've learned from being online, having the guests I've had on like J-Dub and Sick and everybody. When you look at who is being brought in, you're looking at the direction they're going. So it's like a football coach. Hey, if your football coach is a run-oriented guy, they're going to run the football. That will be their forte. They'll set everything up through the run. If your guy wants to chuck it 60 times a game, that's what he's used to doing. Then that's the forte. That's who they're going to go in and try to recruit. So that's just a little. If you just sit back, take off the fanboy stuff. I even heard the super fanboy over. I mean, and if that guy has the ability to say that, then it's over. People need to move on. This is what they're going to do. So I can't wait to play Halo and Forza on that PlayStation.
All right. Hey, shout out to Garuda. Hey, thank you so much for the support today. I really appreciate it. He says the Xbox has no VR or handheld. It has been like 10 years. The Xbox is an annoying third wheel. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say this on Xbox. They have done a lot of things to help Sony push things for, especially when it comes to that online network. Because when Sony first started their online network, it wasn't even unified. Like, you needed different login accounts for different publishers. Like, you needed an EA account, a Ubisoft account, a Sony account, a Capcom account, and that shit was annoying because none of the friends mixed and match. And if you did have friends that mixed and match, we all had different names because it wasn't unified. So Sony's unified network was really because of how Xbox One started. And then obviously we got trophies. So Sony, because of the competition Microsoft brought in terms of online, Sony's online improved over time because it had to compete. There was somebody doing it better, and Sony obviously don't want to look bad. They're going to try their best to compete, So Microsoft brought stuff to the table. But I think right now Microsoft is just not seeing the juice, the squeeze, the phrase goes, the juice not worth the squeeze. right? In terms of trying to do a traditional battle or hardware sell. There's just no point. They just can't do it. They can't crack that nut, you know? Daniel J., he says, MS restricts creativity to developers. That's why Sony tends to do better with games. Hopefully, with the increased revenue, Microsoft can loosen that grip. Because that's true. I will say this. If the more restrictions you put on developers in terms of timetables or, you know, people be like, no, I want your game to look like this. Let developers make the games they want to make. They have the vision, and their vision will lead to development. Development will lead to a product. If you keep injecting ideas because you're just looking at the dollar or the business sense, sometimes that's not going to match their vision. Yeah, they'll do what you want, but they may not be able to get it right because it's not their vision. It's not what they're trying to do with this game. You know, leave the developers alone. Just let them do what they do. You know, they're the artists. They have the vision. They'll find a way to make the game work. You just got to stop imposing restrictions. And hopefully Microsoft needs to really learn to do that.
But I don't agree with that, Porter, because Microsoft's a company. They know what sells on their console, and they know what their gamers is going to buy for the most part.
Microsoft who?
Microsoft.
Like who specifically?
The Xbox division, Microsoft. They know. They know that Hellblade is not going to sell on the Xbox One. They know that already. They don't want those kind of ideas. They know what works on their platform, I believe, you know, and they'll sell that. Well, you said it. That's what they believe that'll do it, and they're not gonna stray too far from it. Yeah. You can shoot a cannon and see if thieves.
You know what? It makes sense, and as much, you know, for a lot of the big fans out there, as much as you want Microsoft to bring the type of games that Nintendo are bringing and Sony are bringing, you got to realize that base is a special base, and they gravitate towards the shooters. Either it's the racer like the Forzas, and it's the shooters, and that's pretty much it. And now, why keep dedicating a lot of money for stuff?
Here's the thing, though. If Microsoft does this whole, you know, put out thing on everything, that's no longer a factor. If their content is on MacBook, Nintendo, PlayStation, Chrome, Android, iOS, that's a huge diverse audience all around the globe.
Yeah, but do you think they're gonna pay attention to all of the other stuff, the other games besides the shooters and the racers? And
why not
alienate their base? I mean, that's
but that's not alienating the base. As long as they keep making the games that their base like. Remember, their base is no longer their base. The whole world is their base now. It's like Windows OS.
Yeah.
The whole world is our base now.
Yeah.
Mogadishu is our base now. Like everyone, there is no limit to what they have access to anymore. And I think that's what they're trying to do.
They have a bigger market. I feel you on that. But their base is their base. Their base never changes, dog.
So you still make them, but what about, you know, well, let's say once they expand into the tablet, iOS, and Android market, that's a totally different base that they have access to.
Right.
They got to make games for that base. Now they got PlayStation on their back and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Let's make games that they could buy. You know what I'm saying? They have a bigger market to worry about now. They have more, you know.
Okay. Yeah, Microsoft really. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Porter. Microsoft really did try to take on Sony at their best game, and they couldn't do it. And so this way, they are dominating that market. They will dominate the digital market. I mean, I don't care for GameStop. You know, a lot of people deep down don't care for them. So if they're pissed off, hey, that's fine. You know, but so I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that they need to be the leader at something. And I saw somebody in the chat say they don't care. They care more about subscriptions, not about sales. Well, you need to understand the subscription is their sale. They know that most people will have Windows, will probably have the gaming pass, have to wait for 6 months, but they'll have Xbox Live as well. So, and that's more money for them, you know, and that's what they care about.
Technically, this strategy could net them. This strategy could make them the biggest gaming entity in the industry.
Y'all talked about that Australian retailer that stopped selling Xboxes.
Yeah, we talked about that. You know, but like Austria, like I said, I think that's more because, like I said, there's areas in Europe that Xbox is selling poorly. It's just not going to sell no matter what. and there's a chance that one of those places is Austria.
Yeah.
So like this one store is like, well, you're barely selling shit now, and now you're gonna do this? Well, forget it. I'm just not gonna deal with it at all. And it just could be that, you know. And that just leads to, you know, it just leads to that one thing, you know. Like I said, Microsoft sees how they're selling. They know the reason they sell. And they could just be like, it's just not worth trying to compete with Nintendo and Sony when we're in a boxing match and both our hands are tied out behind our backs. I don't want to box. This is not a good boxing match. It's not fun. We want to do something different.
And Porter Rock, your point about them losing MPD, people got to remember they lost in November and December.
Yeah.
So their window of 90 days is being threatened. If they don't win one time in North America, that's tough. That's tough.
Think about it. They ain't winning nothing, dog. You got how many games coming out on Sony's platform this month that's multi-plat where you know they're gonna sell more multi-plats. If anything, Switch might win again. You know they're not winning another month. They gotta come out with another console for that.
Yeah, well, again, that's what I'm saying. They're still within their 90-day window of launch. And imagine being a shareholder and coming back. It's like, you know, like Darth Vader looked at Admiral Piet when the Millennium Falcon escaped. It's like, you all can't win with the most powerful console. What else is there for you to do?
But it's like the first Xbox One was...
And that's not trolling. It's just how it is. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are right. Okay, yeah, Monster Hunter, I think, came out either today or comes out tonight, something like that. But within a stone's throw of that, PlayStation's going to have Shadow Colossus. Then in March, they're going to have MLB The Show and Ni no Kuni 2. Then in April, they're going to have God of War. So within 4 months of the year, they have launched 3 to 4 exclusive games. That some have come in on the same month. Mm-hmm. A good chance you get a Detroit Become Human announcement. They're showing that game.
It's
in China, Taipei tomorrow. It's
coming in spring.
It doesn't even matter about the exclusives though, because we know that Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to sell more on the PlayStation 4. Monster Hunter World is going to sell more on the PlayStation 4. It's where they're gonna, and it doesn't matter with the graphics. We all see that because if graphics really matter, PS4 Pro would have took off a long time ago. Yeah. So you already know, like this is what it is. The writing's on the wall. When I seen this subscription move. Oh my God. I thought I'd never see that in my day. I mean, that's like Sega Channel all over again, but you see what happened to the Sega Channel.
Damn, that's old school.
But Porter Rock is old school. That's telling you.
Yeah. But everybody's more attuned to subscription services. Spotify, Netflix, Vudu, you know, all these, you know, streaming services and stuff like that. Everybody's more used to that now.
I mean, with games, it's different though. Games is something you like to purchase, to own, to beat. To give back.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The moment MPD decided to track digital sales, it's because it became significant.
Yeah.
When MPD merged and said, "Hey, we now track digital sales as far as our numbers," it's because it became a significant part of purchases. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't that important, MPD wouldn't be tracking it. If it wasn't significant, but it got to the point where they had to, because if they didn't, the sales numbers will be off. The revenue will be off. It wouldn't make sense. So I think when I noticed MPD, and they did it like in 2016 when they started, that's when I noticed, okay, digital is it's a significant revenue that MPD's tracking it and they're reporting it every month. Is big. It's gotten big. So I think some people, you know, and I gotta admit, I'm gonna tell you, I have the only reason why I buy physical is because it's cheaper. That's it. It's not because I'm a collector. It's literally, I get games for $45 day one. Why am I going to pay $60? The only time I buy a digital game is if I'm going to game share it, and that's because it has multiplayer. But if it doesn't have a multiplayer component, I'm buying it physical for $45.
Great.
But I kind of like the convenience that digital has because I don't have to switch discs. I literally just... I go through my library and I just click start and boom, it starts. So I like that, you know.
Like I love my Gran Turismo Sport, but it's a pain in the ass putting that motherfucker in PlayStation.
You know, so I don't mind that, you know. But I think a lot of people are just used to digital stuff. They're used to the digital phones. They're not. No one's really using disc as much and stuff. I'm not saying it's gonna go away. You know, disc will always be around, but I think digital is now a significant part in gaming, and I think Microsoft is trying to find this avenue. Now, remember, it's a risk. They're the ones that's trying this out first. But I think the reason why they're so confident in trying it is because they know they can't win the hardware battle.
But
so if you can't win the hardware battle, you might as well try something different instead of just repeating the same shit where you end up losing anyway.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, that's true. Yeah,
because let's be honest. Do we honestly believe Microsoft's gonna be the leading, unless Sony fucks up by releasing a $700 console?
Yeah, never.
Do we honestly believe Microsoft is gonna win next gen?
Put it right. Even if they did that, right? Even if the PS5 was $700-800, guess what?
It'll be like a tie.
Within a year or so, yeah, they're gonna be back, back in the running. They just,
let's be honest. Yeah. It's not like Microsoft's in a position to where this is a fluke year. If anything, PS3 generation was a fluke year for PlayStation. Because when you look at every other year, the PS1, the PS2, and now the PS4, it's pretty normal of them selling 80 million in 4 years. That's actually, now that you look at the PS4,
yeah,
it's normal for a PlayStation to sell. I think it's abnormal for a PlayStation to sell 80 million in 8 years. That's not normal.
Yeah.
What's normal is selling 100 million in 5 years. That's becoming status quo for this brand.
Yeah.
And I think Microsoft realizes that. They're like, we're going to lose next gen again.
Yeah.
So what can we do that's different? We're not going to, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and you're going to expect a different outcome. The outcome's going to be the same. It's not going to change. So they're doing something different. And I think this could potentially work out, but they really have to push putting this on everything. They need to put it on iOS. They need to put it on Android, on Mac, everything.
PlayStation.
Leave no device. If there's a toaster with a TV screen on it, put it on that damn toaster.
Yeah.
Everything needs to have it. And that's how this plan will work. And of course, the fanboys are gonna be pissed off, but that's irrelevant. That's just an irrelevant banter.
They're going away shortly anyway.
If anything, the community will probably be better off with less fanboy banter. It will just be a better community.
Yeah.
There's one less thing we have to argue about.
What you said about physical digital, there's always going to be a disc, but the main reason 4K Blu-ray has not taken off well, I thought it was price. It's actually because more people have decided
to stream.
That streaming is convenient.
It's better.
More convenient.
Yeah.
They're trading that for graphics.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and people out.
I've been telling people that. I'm like, listen, only the hardcore video file cares about crisp 4K images.
Yeah.
Why would I buy a disc, right? Why would I buy a movie disc that I can only play on one device or 4K Blu-ray applies and not buy a digital to where I could watch it on my TV, I could watch it on my PlayStation, I could put it on my phone, I could put it on my tablet. Why would I get rid of that versatility over 4K image?
Yeah. Because you got that bread, dog.
A lot of people don't know this. Walt Disney in 2019 is launching a streaming service. So that means every movie that they've got ever made will be streamed or available to stream. So that's everything. Doesn't matter. 101 Dalmatians, The Black Hole, everything. All the Avengers movies, the Star Wars movies, all that is going to go digital. So, and that will move a significant amount of people into the digital market. Because that's a reality. When we hit 51% digital, the industry started to change. So I give Microsoft props. This is their baby. I agree 100% with Rand Outdoor. This has got to work, because if it doesn't, they're done. There will be nowhere else for them to go. So I think it will work. I'm going to definitely, like you said, Porter Rock, in your stream the other day, I'm going to finesse the hell out of this thing. Mm-hmm. So something comes out I want, I'm going to be like Jay said, Redbox 1X. Here we go. Here, call up Redmond, call to customer service, take my whatever, $9.99 for the month. I'll play the game, and then I'll call them up again. I'm canceling for now. That's what I'm going to do. But the important thing for Microsoft is to get me in that ecosystem. That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what they want. We got to get you in the ecosystem. And for every Craig that finesses, there may be 3 to 4 other people that stay in.
Yeah. And I think, and this makes sense to me now, why Phil Spencer was so hardcore adamant about crossplay. Because I seen his tweets, his interviews. I'm like, man, this guy's really a crossplay fiend like shit. Like he just won't let it go. Yeah. And I have a feeling the reason why he wants this crossplay between Rocket League and Mantis and all that, so that way the blueprint can already be staged between PlayStation and Xbox, right? So that way when he starts pushing his big first party IPs, the blueprint's there to have a Halo community between PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, to have the Gears community, the Forza community, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want separate communities when it comes to those games. Mm-hmm. He wants them all unified, all accessible to each other, you know, and being able to convince Sony to go with Minecraft, Mantis Burn, Rocket League, and all these smaller games, that sets the blueprint for the big AAA games to have crossplay. And I think that's why, I think that's a key integral part of his plan. He wants Sony to do crossplay because he plans to put his games on that. Because why else would he care? Like, why would he care if... I mean, I could maybe understand Minecraft, but why would he care if Rocket League is crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation? It's not his game.
He wanted more user engagement numbers.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean user engagement numbers for Rocket League? Yeah. That doesn't mean anything. What makes sense is the blueprint to have crossplay established between these consoles, so that way when he puts his games on these consoles, they are all connected. That's why he wants. You know, now it makes sense why he's adamant about it. He doesn't really care about Rocket League. He cares about the connection. And if there's any issues, let's address it now, because he doesn't want Halo to launch on PlayStation and Xbox with crossplay and have issues, because that's going to make the game look bad. He doesn't want that. He wants the blueprint done. Like, now we know how to make it work.
So
now we
might
can
as well hang up the box.
titles.
The way you talking, what's the point of their box?
Oh, but we talked about that before. What was the point of the box 3 years ago? People still found a reason to buy it. What's the point of the box in 2017 with no exclusives? People still found a reason to buy it. People are going to buy what they want to buy. That's
but
just
with the
reality.
subscription service, it's like they're killing their first parties. Now it's like you just buy triple. Now you just buy AAA.
Are people really buying Xbox for first party, bro?
They gotta come out with the game. You can't use that. That's not fair. They gotta come out with the game.
Super Jamaican, brother. Are we really buying Xboxes for first party, for Microsoft first party? Let's be honest. So you bought Xbox for Rise? You buying it for Rise? That's what we doing?
Me and you is not doing it, but there are some people who do it. But
I can't get it some shit. I mean, I'm not trying to knock it, but I hear more people praise Xbox because of the community and the social aspects than the games. And I'm not knocking them.
It's laughable.
I'm saying if that I mean, people laugh. I'm not knocking them. I mean, no, like that people like that. People like playing. Yo, there's dudes for the first time, whatchamacallit, on Xbox, OG Xbox, and now they're their kids' godparents. I'm not joking, bro.
It's a beautiful thing, but it's laughable because
I'm serious, bro. Yo, they know each other's. Yo, think about it. There's dudes that were teenagers, and now they know each other's kids. That's how long they known each other.
That's crazy.
Because of Xbox. You know, a lot of people. People prefer the controller. People prefer the user interface. People prefer the network. They'll find whatever reason to choose Xbox over anything else. But you know what? Microsoft knows this. That's why they'll still make an Xbox. But at the same time, if you don't like Xbox, cool. Play your game, play our games on the platform you prefer. Here you go. We don't care. You want to play on Xbox? Play on Xbox. You want to play on a Mac? Play on Mac. You want to play on iOS? Play it on iOS. You want to play on PlayStation? Play it there. You want to play on Nintendo? Play it there. We don't care. Just play it. And they're going to make money off it.
I don't see how they're going to make the money, though. I don't see how they're going to make the money because with the little subscription nonsense, nobody buying the console. Like, I really don't see a path unless they get everything on every device. Like you said, I don't see a path where they.
Because here's the thing, because it's just like Netflix. If you have this Game Pass stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You need the way you make the money is you have to build a huge. You cannot. This is not going to be successful with just 10 million people. Like Netflix, they have 100 million subscribers. That's why they make billions every year. That's what you need. You are not going to get 100 million subscribers with just PC and Xbox.
But that's what I'm saying. With Netflix, there's an adoption rate that can be catered to because people watch movies. Not everybody plays games on Xbox.
But listen, it's on every device though. If Netflix was just limited to just PC, Netflix would not be that big. Because I ain't watching a movie on my laptop. I'm not doing that. I watch Netflix on my TV. If you can't put Netflix on my TV, then I ain't watching Netflix.
So that's why you were saying they should do it on iOS, Mac.
They gotta do it on everything because
they're not. So how they gonna?
They are. I'm telling you, bro.
No,
that's how Microsoft is, bro.
Nah, man, they gotta take a. So at some point, they gotta take an exit. I think this is the red carpet.
What do you mean exit? They're not gonna exit. They're gonna put everything.
This ain't gonna work.
Why is this not gonna work? Why wouldn't it?
Put some money on this one, me and you.
Why wouldn't it work though? Why wouldn't it work? They got games in Asia. Why? Why wouldn't it work?
First of all, it's for their AAAs, and who knows if their AAAs is going to release when they say they AAAs. I'm thinking Sea of Thieves is definitely going to come out, but we don't know about the rest. And that's just the one game.
You're just thinking of. I'm talking. This is a long term. This is how Microsoft is going to do gaming from now until the end of time. This is not just worrying about this gen. This is the next gen, the gen after, and on and on and on. This is how they're just going to do business.
I mean,
it's just going to put everything everywhere where everyone has access to the game, and you play it the way you want. You just do it.
Netflix did not start out like it is. It started out very small. People made fun of it.
I remember because I used to sell it at Best Buy back in 2003.
Netflix started out with discs. Let's not bullshit.
Yeah, you have to sell it in a case.
It didn't start out on streaming service.
It was an actual case. You literally had to buy it in a case to get the Netflix back in.
Yeah, the PlayStation, you had to pop the disc in order to do it.
Yeah. So Netflix started out stuff. Netflix didn't even, like I said, didn't even start with streaming. You went on your computer, you picked the movies you wanted to see, and they melded to you.
Listen, maybe I would.
It was a blockbuster rental service that you didn't have to walk out your house to watch. That was Netflix.
Yeah,
that's how it started out.
You didn't have the convenience of same day as far as the movie would come out. You had to wait 3 days.
You picked a consistent. You picked your plan. How many discs a month you want to rent out?
Yep.
You pick 100 set of movies. When you mail them out and they receive it, the next one came in. You mail them out, the next one came in, and then they got to the point where, as soon as the post office scanned that they received the disc, that's when they mailed out. So the service became even faster, and you got your movies faster. Then they started these streaming with these low budget little TV shows. And it just grew. And Microsoft is going to go through that same transition. It's going to start out slow. They might even go in the red. Don't be surprised if over the next 2 years you see Microsoft losing money over this. Because they got a lot of content, but they're not generating a lot of revenue. But they have to keep pushing that content. So they're going to be in the red for a little bit. But soon, more and more people are going to sign up. Next thing you know, it's on iOS. Next thing you know, it's on Android. Next thing you know, Game Pass is on MacBook. Next thing you know, the big one, Sony E3 2025, Game Pass. That's how it is. That's how it is.
Sony 2025.
We'll be 60. We'll be like 49 years old and shit on this podcast. We'll be like, oh shit, Game Pass.
I might not even hit 40 by then. You might be old, but I'm not. Nigga, don't try to lump me in with you.
But that's how it starts. This is not something that's gonna be like a 1 year venture. This is Microsoft strategy. This is a smart strategy.
It's just mind-boggling though to see them do it. It's like it's just
sad. It's sad, right?
It's sad. As a gamer who grew up with games, it's sad to see this.
Yeah.
I'd rather have this.
I feel like I lost an uncle or something,
Right? You feel like you lost a retarded cousin. Like,
I'd rather have this than what Sega went through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because at least this strategy, Microsoft will still make bank.
Like what Sega had, it's not the same, but it's like
the difference. It was the hardware that they couldn't get together with their.
But that's what what I'm saying is either way, regardless of what they had, they still failed. You understand? Yeah. And then Sega became a former of their own shadow self, right? Microsoft, they can still make a lot of games, and now their games is accessible to even more people. That's why I don't see a problem with this. Look, they're just gonna make more money, make more games, and more people get to play them on whatever device you want to play. So now I could play fighters like Killer Instinct 3 on a good D-pad like this bullshit I got here.
Man, you ain't gonna play that Killer Instinct.
I think, like Porter Rock said, 10, 15 years from now, we'll be looking back like Sega. We'll be looking back on Microsoft saying, hey, you guys remember that crazy company, that crazy Xbox system that Microsoft used to have back in the day that used to charge you $500 that didn't have any games and all. I mean, we're gonna definitely be looking back.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a reflection. But I think Microsoft evolving to they're applying their same mindset that they have for the rest of the company, and now it's trickling over into gaming where they're like, we're not going to compete hardware to hardware. That's not what we do here at Microsoft. What we do is we make software, we make services, and everybody could use it. And we don't care. We don't even care if our competitor uses it. We don't care because at the end of the day, that money is going to trickle back to us.
Yeah. So J-Dub, does this mean that you're in that Microsoft put you back in that sunken place?
I'm in that sunken place, man. That you got to see the look. Hey, I'm not going to be alone. It's going to me, Crap Gamer, man. We're going to have to, go out and grab some beers and just cry to each other because it's about to go down, man.
The chat asks, is Game Pass coming to PS4? I don't think it'll come to PS4. I think it's going to come to other platforms first. I think Microsoft
2025.
There you go, 2025.
It's gonna come to
2025. That's my deadline.
That's
2025.
He said 2025. You heard it from the horse's mouth here.
2025
Trust me, it's gonna.
But you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it on Mac. You're gonna see the Microsoft will find a way to put it on iOS. You'll see it on Amazon fucking TV. You're gonna see it on a lot of devices.
Man, I hope
like,
so because shit. I don't want Microsoft to go out as a gaming company. I don't want the Halo to die. I don't want the Forza. Those are great games. They're really good games.
They're still making those games.
They're gonna still make them. They're just gonna put them on more places. It's just like right now. Look at Halo 5. It's exclusive to just one platform that has maybe 35 million consoles sold.
Oh, why you be fluffing these numbers, man? I hate when people fluff these numbers like that.
I'm just consuming, And 35 million at this point ain't really that good. So it's not like it's really not that good.
5 years. No, we're working on 5 years.
5 years, 35 million. That's not even 10 million a year. It's less than that.
A little over 8 million a year. I think I don't have a problem with what they're doing because this is what they wanted to do when Don Matrick walked out there and the place went.
Robert asked if Game Pass comes to PC. I think Game Pass is on PC.
Yeah,
somebody else said it the other day.
Yeah, Game Pass. Robert, Game Pass is already on PC.
It should be on PC.
Yeah,
but a Crap Gamer can go on to the Father Himself podcast and make a lot of sense. I mean, I was sitting there with my jaw dropped, like, my God, this guy's actually making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Still love your Xbox. It's okay to still that's the place you want to play your games, but you're not going to win.
But you're not going to be.
You're never going to win,
Craig. You're not going to.
Hey, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
The problem is they won't be able to say that Xbox is the best box anymore.
That's really all it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They're looking like soldiers with the general rose the white flag. They're like, oh shit, man. That's really what it is. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with gaming. It has nothing to do with worrying about new IPs or getting more games. It has nothing to do with that because if anything, this plan will lead them to get more games. Will lead them to get new IPs. It will make them much more money. Yeah. There will be a more successful game company with this route.
Yeah, they're already talking about they can't wait to see the comparison on Digital Foundry of Monster Hunter, the Xbox X versus the Pro. I was just
like, they ain't even going to play it. It's like it's retarded.
That's what's funny. Half the people that are saying that they're not going to play Monster Hunter. They never care for
console to end because I think at the end of this generation, gamers might enjoy games again. Man, I don't think the console has ever been. I don't think the console was over. It's been over, but it's like there's never been a war like this generation. Like, they want to say the Sega and back in the day. I was a little kid back in the day. I don't know how them grown folks is acting, but it wasn't acting like this.
I just think the Sony community doesn't know what winning looks like. This is what winning looks like. Your competitor quit. They quit. They are going digital. They can't compete with you physically, so they went a different route.
Sony knows what winning looks like. Look at Dreamcast.
Yo, people were at me. When Microsoft announced the Game Pass for $10, I was generally excited. I'm like, oh shit, I could play these games for $10. People thought I was insulting it. I'm like, yo, you dudes are wilding, kid.
Yo, if only
why would I make fun? Why would I make fun of something that's saving me $50 a pop? Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's a good value.
These people took that. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
It's a great value, but at the same, as a gamer, you lose your mind. It's like, yo, well, how they gonna make money? How they gonna sell their games?
I don't give a shit. I'm saving $50 a pop. They'll figure that out.
You're gonna have great service for a year, and then what happens after that? Because they ain't making no money off of this nonsense. Ain't nobody gonna buy these games. How them sales numbers gonna look MPD days? And
I don't care. I paid $10.
Yo, I'm gonna pay them $10 too. I just wish it was something you could go in a store and buy and not have to subscribe. I hate giving people my credit card info. I hate it.
I tweeted out, never broke Xbox Messiah. So because I can just pay $10 to rent your game. That's great for me.
That was great.
One thing I can say, guys, is this was probably the biggest bombshell of the generation. Out of everything that Microsoft and Sony has come out and said and done, this here was probably the, like he said, it was that white flag. It was like that somber moment when you realize that shit just got real.
Yeah, but that's just fanboy stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you know, the console warring. It doesn't, none of that matters. You know, in fact, we all know Phil Spill hates console war. Yeah. He hates it with a passion. He hates it. He thinks it's the stupidest thing in the world. So none of that matters to him, you know?
Yeah.
But now that he's at the top level of Microsoft, he is truly responsible, not just because everybody's like, well, now we got to advocate for Xbox. I don't see it that way. If anything, I see now Phil's responsible. He's part of the people that's responsible for Microsoft as a whole.
Yes.
He's in that seat.
Yeah.
When he was down at the lower level, yes, he was Xbox. But now he's at the head of the table, and the head of the table is worried about Microsoft as a whole.
Now they're going to be asking for Dunny. Now they're going to be asking for Dunny D back.
He ain't coming back. That ain't coming back.
They're going to be calling for Phil's head. He was the wrong guy.
He's gonna be like, see, I told you, Donnie D. You know, oh man, they're gonna want Ballmer back too. You know, but all fanboys point aside, I think for Microsoft, the position that they're in, with the crutches they have, with the roadblocks they have in terms of console and stuff like that, not with the brand not being accessible in terms of regions because they just don't want to play Xbox. I think this is the best move for them based on the landscape that they're in. You know, this is the best move for them. This is their way of getting into places they normally don't have access to. You know, all those people in Asian markets, now they could get Killer Instinct into that market, you know, through PC and consoles that is made by other people. They could spend less money on research design for consoles because the majority of hardware is being done by Sony and Nintendo. Let them spend the billions and billions of dollars in research design into the next technology. You guys spend all that money. We'll sit here, wait, and we'll put our games on your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Give up the hardware, do the software. Word.
That's
well,
brilliant.
You brought up the Trojan horse, and they've already got 90 million consoles out there and they want. I mean, again, you're crazy as a businessman if you say, okay, we got 90 million consoles somewhere else. We got to figure out a way to get at least at the bare minimum, get some games, maybe not. And I don't think it'll start out top tier stuff. They'll gradually start put stuff on there, and that's what I think they'll do. I mean, the baby got to crawl before it can walk.
Yeah.
So, and this is them. I mean, they left. They hauled ass. I mean, I don't know what else people can want. They are done as a business.
I think they're done. They're done with the traditional. We're gonna take console market share from Sony and Nintendo. They're like, you know what? We're not doing this no more. We don't need to do this. Why are we doing this? Like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. We're just going to put our games on your shit and make money off your backs. And that's it.
For them to leave, though, somebody would have to step in, like a major player, like a Samsung.
To be honest, I'm going to be honest. Since when did we truly ever had a three-way that was really successful? I think last year was really the only year where three consoles actually were truly successful, and look what it took. It took not last year, last gen. It took Nintendo to create a console that was completely off the wall, and it was like grandparents that was playing it, right?
I mean, ever since PlayStation came into the game, it's been fucked up.
It's generally been two consoles.
Yeah, ever since PlayStation came in.
Yeah, even before that, before PlayStation, it was Genesis.
You had your heavy hitters, but you had mad consoles. Everybody was like,
but they were all failures. They were failed.
Jaguar.
Failed.
No, they all failures, but at least they was trying, bro. Nobody even tries anymore, man.
Yeah, because they're tired of losing money. Like, no one wants to do this for charity. You know, no one wants to do this for charity. They're trying to do this to make a success. Jaguar failed. Neo Geo failed. TurboGrafx 16 failed. Saturn, you know what I'm saying? It was really Nintendo and Sega. And when you really think about it, Sega was just fucking lose. Like their only financially successful product that they ever made was the Genesis. Everything else ended up in a sales failure. Everything else. So Sega just had the money to survive for like 2 decades or 3 decades. I mean, like 2 decades or whatever. But in reality, it was really only Nintendo that was consistently having financial success generation after generation after generation. Everybody else was really failing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, true. I don't think this console industry is built for like 3 players. I think it's just really 2. Nintendo will do their thing, Sony will do their thing, and Microsoft is like, we're doing everything. We're just gonna blanket the world with just Microsoft shit, and you guys figure out how y'all want to play or where you want to play it at. We don't care. Just here you go. Yeah. Enjoy.
And again, as long as you're okay as a consumer with not owning the product, this is where people got to make a consumer choice. If you're okay with not owning Gears of War, just playing it off the Game Pass, and then be fine with it, you still got, like J-Dub said, it's one of the best looking games on the console. If you got all the ability to run in 4K, stuff like that. Yeah, Halo, you can still play that in 4K. Forza, you just don't own the game, and if you're okay with it.
I think they'll still own it because I still think they'll do digital distribution, meaning you could buy the game. I think they're still going to do that.
Yeah, you can still buy it, but ultimately,
and I think they're going to do it for PlayStation also. Digitally, you can buy the game if you want.
Yep.
Physical prints might be less. I don't think they'll completely go away because there's still people whose internet not going to be able to have the bandwidth to constantly download gigs and gigs of file. You know, there's still places that has internet caps where you can only download 80 gigs a month.
Yeah.
So those are considerations. So I think Microsoft is still going to have the physical. They're still going to have hardware for the Xbox enthusiasts. They're still going to appease those guys. They're going to have digital distribution, service base, sales. They're just going to cover so much and just do a big blanket of just stuff where it's just a mass amount of users buying their stuff, whether it's direct games or services, you know. But it's not going to be that. I think the whole idea is it's not the actual console hardware is not at the core center of their strategy. Yeah, you know, the console hardware is just one other device of many. The core strategy is the hub where the games are coming from. And I think that's the core. And that hub is going to be digital distribution, services, Game Pass, things like that. Streaming. That's where it's going to come from. Because people thinking, how are you going to get Xbox games on a phone? It doesn't even have the hardware to run it. That's where streaming comes in. Because that's the whole point of streaming. To be able to play high demanding games on weaker hardware, because it's a server that's playing, that's, you know, rendering the game, not the actual device. That's how they'll be able to get it on phones and tablets. Like Gears of War 5 on a tablet, streaming over your Wi-Fi internet.
Yeah. Or whatever. Or the other was Halo Wars and this all that on your tablets. Yeah, I mean it's I don't, again, I shout out to J-Dub again for the sunken place thing. That's got so many different meanings y'all just don't know. But
it's gonna be some crime, brother. Some crime.
Yeah.
What's the joke? I'm sorry.
It's kind of, you call it a new wave thing. You know, I think sunken place. I think of some other things. I think me and Jada, we both are subbed to Tariq Nasheed. It's a totally different game. When he says it, that's what I hear this shit up. But I'd say I agree with you, Porter Rock. I just think that it was so refreshing to hear the fanboys, the ultimate fanboys, just saying, you know what, the console war was over in 2014. This is stuff that they're big. They said this. They said that they would sit back off air and try to figure out how to damage control for Microsoft. I mean, literally admitting everything on air. It is.
What was this?
Just go back and listen to some podcasts. I don't want to give it away. There was a podcast Wednesday that somebody
need to listen to this.
Oh, that's no Zaire and one-on-one with Crap Gamer.
Yeah, one-on-one with Crap Gamer. Just listen to what Crap Gamer says. Literally, listen.
I mean, but he was being honest. That was one of his rare moments where he's not trolling or fanboying. He was just like, he's just gonna call it why he just called it how he saw it. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I agree with him. That's just I think Microsoft is one. I think Microsoft wants to be what Microsoft does. They make something, everybody gets to use it. They don't care who it is. It's just whatever. Everybody use it. Here you go. You know, like I said.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, like I said. Oh shit.
I'm paraphrasing.
You go first. You're the guest.
I liked what he said. I'm paraphrasing. I like my Xbox. I'm gonna play it till there's no box left. They don't care about coming in first place. That and if that had been his attitude from the beginning of the generation, a lot of stuff that happened wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but he would have had no subscribers.
I thought, that's what I agree.
And that's the problem.
I agree. He was being honest. It was weird, but he was being completely honest.
With him being honest,
he even said
entertaining.
Yeah, but he even said he's going to play Xbox no matter what. And there's a lot of players. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. If that's your preferred product, then buy what you want. It's your money, your credit card. It doesn't apply me. And I think a lot of people, they're going to buy the Xbox no matter what. Whether it's the weakest console, the same dudes that say, I bought an Xbox One X is going to be because it's the most powerful are going to be the same dudes that buy the next Xbox, even if it's the weakest. They don't care. They're going to buy what they want to buy, you know? Yeah. But now Microsoft doesn't want to do this one-on-one battles no more. It's just not worth it for them no more.
Yeah, I agree. It's not. They can't win. They don't have a big enough global footprint to combat a global company. Yeah. They're trying to fight a global fight. They're coming home. They're getting their teeth kicked in by Apple. They're constantly fighting with Google. They're fighting Oracle. They don't want to keep doing this. So it's, and there's nothing wrong with what they're doing as long as you don't have a problem without owning the physical hardware. And even if you want to, like you said, Porter Rock, they're supposed to give you 10-15% off. So I mean, if they're going to do that, what else can they do? So I don't have a problem with what they're doing. Like I said, it's Redbox. It's Redbox X1. So,
all jokes aside, I think this is different for us because this is new territory. Our industry that we're so used to, and I think us older guys are having the bigger problem because we saw gaming how it is from the start. But when you think about it, if you're 14 years old, this is nothing. Like they don't see the big deal. 14 to 18-year-olds. They're not seeing a big deal in this. To them, that's normal. Like, in fact, some of them will be like, well, it's about damn time. They're probably like, they're welcome. You finally caught up to what everybody else is doing because everybody else is on Spotify. They're on Netflix. They're on Vudu, So it's just how it is. Like, think about it. We grew up in a time where we had VHS and shit.
Facts.
Now I don't even touch a movie. I cannot remember the last time I touched a physical disc to watch a movie. I don't remember. I don't even remember the last DVD Blu-ray I saw. I can't even remember the last Blu-ray movie I saw. I don't watch. It's just times are changing. Some people probably wondering if Sony and Nintendo are going to do this. I don't think they are, at least not anytime soon, only because they are having so much success with what they're doing. Yeah, so they don't need to because they don't need to. Yeah, they don't need to. They're finding success with what they're doing, So they don't have an issue with how the way it goes, but Microsoft apparently is. I think this is for you, Craig Harris, Garuda Legends, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate the support. He says, Craig Harris, the Xbox never won in any generation. That is true, technically, because the highest selling console was the Wii.
Yeah, he's right, but understand they had a fan base, and I understood. And me and J-Dub, we've had podcasts and say, look, the console war ended in 2014.
Yeah,
it ended there, but there was a group of people who carried it on into this here. He's right. You're right, Grudy Legends. They never won. Porter Rock. How many debates have you won busting guys with that line right there? Yeah. So, but it was a group of people who said, no, they're still going at it. They're still fighting. Xbox put their games on PC in 15? You can say at that point it was over because a lot of people were upset then. Yeah. You know, so but to me it was over in 2014. I mean, to me you can say 2013. Hell, when Sony came out there and said we $100 cheaper, pretty much gonna give you the same.
Yeah, you know it was over from that E3, dog.
That shit was over E3 2013.
I'm gonna tell you guys this.
Microsoft was still competing hold on real quick. Microsoft was still competing in the sense that they were winning MPDs. They were, you know, they were not a whole lot, but they were still winning here.
They got a couple.
Yeah, so they were trying to compete physically. But yeah, go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead, bro.
When Yoshida came out with that video showing you how you can trade your games, how you can share your games, that was it. That was the death blow. That let you know right there that Sony thought that this was so hysterical that they're just gonna make fun with it. That it was nothing that could be done. So I mean,
yeah.
It is what it is, guys. For everybody else that's in denial, you can keep fighting the good fight. For the rest of us, we're just going to keep laughing and keep gaming.
It's been an entertaining 3 years. Oh, man, I thank all the fanboys for every day that they went out there and put their hearts on their sleeves for they plastic, man. I love you. I love those fanboys. They made every day of my life as entertaining as it is today, man. I could have done it without them.
They've been oppressed for so long. And they never reached the promised land.
The same fanboys used to take me to the GameStop back in the PS3 days and tell me, look at the back of the case. What's it say? 720.
Yeah. Well, think about it, J-Dub. They had Aaron Greenberg, Porterwise Worldwide tweet. You know, Aaron Greenberg coming in second place. I want everybody to really think about that. They bragged about coming in second place. How many parents brag because their kid comes in second place?
Oh shit!
That's because nobody knew the Wii. He did that on the sneak tip because nobody knew the Wii won that month.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, I think he's trying to say either Switch or PlayStation won, or that made him pull that out of him. I don't think he was supposed to say that either because the results didn't come out to the week after.
Yeah,
but I guess that triggered him, and he's like, "Man, I'm this motherfucker right here," and he just answered. And I was like, "Oh shit!" He just told us Switch won. Like, "Oh shit!" And that shit wasn't supposed to be.
Wasn't his job. Like, and shout out to Matt's Gaming who said, "Well, I guess Aaron Greenberg is now working for Nintendo." You know, so it's. But my point, guys, is that they bragged about second place. That's where their company is. I mean, if I owned a company and somebody come up to me and said, "Man, we're excited. We came in second place," I just say, "Get out." That's it. Get out. Yeah. You know, I did not start this. We didn't create the world's most powerful console, 6 T-flops. Like J-Dub always says, it's custom. You know, all these pixels to come in second place.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Not whatever. Billions of dollars in rubles, research, whatever you want to call it, garter belt money, not to come in second.
Garter belt money. All right. So, all right, we're going to cut this podcast short. Well, not short. We've been here for 2 hours already. I'm going to try Monster Hunter. Anybody started playing that yet?
I'm about to pop it.
I'm about to jump on. Want to join up in the party? Fuck around?
I'm good. Like, we ready. Like, I was waiting for people to play with, but yeah.
Oh, you playing fucking Dragon Ball Z, Super Jamaican?
I'm playing everything. We buy games here on the PlayStation 4, Porter, right?
I didn't buy Dragon Ball Z yet.
That's okay. We know you're going to get to it. We know you still got to do that work in Street Fighter, dog.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, now that we got the arcade edition, oh, yeah.
It's changed completely. You got to practice, man. It's changed.
You're gonna get this work.
Man, come on.
You're gonna get this work, bro.
Let's do that work in Monster Hunter, dog. Let's play the Capcom game.
I'm gonna get your immigration card. You're gonna get this work. We can point your ass.
Yo, when I'm done with you, man, you ain't coming back into the country.
Oh shit.
They're gonna have to keep you over there, wherever you go. They're gonna have to keep you.
Oh shit! All right. So we're gonna be out. We're gonna say our parting shots to everybody. Hey, Craig Harris, thank you so much for hopping on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm sorry I was late. Had to make the donuts. I'll go back and listen. I know you guys were making some really legit good points, and I appreciate being here. Shout out to you, Porter Rock, and J-Dub, and Super Jamaican. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
All right. My man Kratos with that cool Kratos avatar, the god of cardboard. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. You guys know what it is. It's your boy. J-Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation and all things gaming. Another one in the history books. It's always great, man, being on the show and chopping it up with you guys. So yeah, let's get this gaming going.
All right, okay. All right, and one of the students I trained in Street Fighter, my man Super Jamaican.
Yo, shout out to everybody on the podcast. Same thing Craig said. I apologize for coming on late. I know I missed some good talk with that Lobos nonsense and all this other stuff, so I'm gonna go back and listen to it too. And once again, thanks for having me. And everybody go buy Hellblade for Porter Rock still, man.
That's right, man. That's right. If you buy them shoes and you don't buy Hellblade, you're getting blocked.
Yo, I'm getting I'm getting them Paul George shoes, man.
I'm blocking.
Definitely.
You get them poor Joes before you get Hellblade. I better see if you're gonna post them sneakers. I better see the digital code for Hellblade.
I'm gonna have to get a simultaneous purchase there.
Yeah, you're gonna get blocked. I'm blocking you from the podcast, from the chat. I'm gonna erase your existence. I'm gonna call my boys from Quantico. That's it. Your existence is gonna be erased.
I'm about to get the Delta Force after you.
We're not doing it. We're not doing this here. The best selling exclusive is not gonna be a fucking sneaker. We're not doing that here. Right? Okay, it's gonna be like 10 million sold. I'm gonna be like,
it's gonna outsell Hellblade. Stop bullshit.
That shit's gonna if that shit outsells Uncharted, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be like, yo, our best selling exclusive is a fucking pair of sneakers.
Yo, these some little ass kids, man. Stop bullshit. They literally.
All right, hey, yeah, you have to like recharge them and shit. Rechargeable sneakers and shit. All right. Anyway, this is your boy Porter Rock 77. I hope you enjoyed this late edition of the 60 Frames No Lag podcast. I wasn't able to host it on its normal regular time, but don't worry, it's going to go back to Wednesdays. This is just something I just couldn't wait till next week to talk about this topic, so I wanted to make sure we had the crew up in here to talk about it at the end of the week. But I hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, everybody, and you guys have a great weekend. I'm about to hop on and we're going to get down on this Monster Hunter. All right, people. Peace.
Play games.